Alright guys, we're watching Game 2 with Vortex as our focus player. My name is Silvertone. I'm here with ULeakRed. This is Life on the Ladder.
Game resumed.
The player at the 9 o'clock position is our red Terran. His name is Vortex. Over in the east, we have our blue protoss Deiidara. Or excuse me, is it Deiidara?
It's Deiidara, yeah. I think that's a Dragon Ball Z character.
I'm not sure.
I think Deiidara is a Dragon Ball. It's either a Dragon Ball Z character. I think he's like the demon in Dragon Ball Z that helps like get Majin Buu out.
I would be interested to find out exactly who. Maybe we'll have to look that up after tonight's cast.
Yeah.
But
or he's from Naruto. He's either one of those two.
or he's from an anime. He's from an anime
yeah,
for sure.
He's from an anime. Not long story short, he's from an anime. Alright.
We do have Vortex, who is the unranked player, up against Deiidara, the silver player. A really interesting opportunity to get the perspective of a possible player who's either new to just Legacy of the Void or completely new to StarCraft 2.
Yeah, this
relatively
is always,
new.
It's always so much fun looking at fresh takes on the game, especially because like we have so many reference points in this game because we've been playing it since Wings of Liberty, since the beginning, since vanilla, as I would like to call it.
Vanilla.
Yeah, since it was just plain, straight up, regular vanilla ice cream, nothing special.
Since Piccolo was like mattered.
Yeah, since Piccolo, before he even fused with Nam, what's his name? Is it Namek? What's his name?
He's from Namek, but I think his name was
the
oh man, it's been too long.
Yeah, wow. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. But yes, this is like straight up. This looks like it's going to be a straight up game. Both players choosing to open, like I said, pretty defensively and aggressively. I would just say because they're going. I mean, the Protoss player is going for double gas. Terran player is going to go for his expansion.
It's the same build. It's the same build as last game.
Yeah, same builds. I like the pylon placement of the Protoss player though.
So it's nice to see Vortex actually. This will be a nice contrast to Game 1 with Vortex as our focus player. It's nice to see him doing the same build and trying to make it work against another Protoss player. This is unranked versus silver, and that means that they're not playing exactly to meta.
No.
Not that there really is a meta yet in Legacy of the Void. There's something of a meta.
Right.
We do have a pretty big supply block here for Vortex. For you Terrans out there, guys, this is your rule of thumb. It'll sound ridiculous, but it'll get you out of silver and into gold. If you're on one base, always have an SCV making a depot. If you're on 2 bases or higher, you want to always have 2 SCVs making depots at any one time.
Correct. That is so true. Great tip from Silvertone. I couldn't agree more with that. Getting supply block really hurts. It's not as bad for Zerg because Zerg can bank larva, so you can like kind of. I mean, it does still hurt because you don't have the units to defend your base and you're screwed. But like, it doesn't hurt as much as with Terran, where like the money that you keep, there is no way to burn it really fast. With Protoss, you can burn it really fast. You know, you can drop a forge or drop more tech, or the best answer I can get somebody is like, oh, Red, I'm floating all this money. What do I do? Drop a bunch of gates. Just drop a bunch of gates.
With Protoss, make a bunch of gates. With Terran, if you think you have an army, if you think your production's good enough, drop a CC. If it isn't, make barracks. Make tons of barracks. Get your upgrades going double, man. There's lots of ways to spend money in this game. The important part for this is that these players are still like in Silver League. So if you don't get supply blocked a lot and he does because you're both in lower leagues, then your production is going to be considerably better. The biggest thing I gotta tell you about StarCraft 2, and I'll tell you it over and over and over again, if you're trying to league up, play to your league. Do not play as if you're a Grandmaster. Don't even play as if you're a Platinum or Diamond player. Play as a Silver player, play as a Gold player, and play to the meta of your league.
Correct. And as we're talking about meta, a Deiidara is dropped in the corner, a gateway in a pylon. Maybe this will be used, maybe not. I don't know. That's pretty interesting, though. That's right by the Terran's natural base.
That's got to be because of the warp in time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to use that to warp in. which is pretty smart. We'll see what he does. The warp gate goes off. Come on, let's see if he's setting up.
Deiidara not playing standard at all, as far as I'm considered. This looks like the new version of the 4-gate with the Stargate. I didn't see the Stargate until right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't think he hasn't warped in any units yet. I don't know where they're coming in at. He's dropped in a few units at the front, but as you see that, the Terran player's making a move now. I don't know if he still has stem as he did last game. He does have stem. This is basically the exact same push we saw of Game 1. If you guys haven't seen that yet, go watch it. We'll try not to spoil it too much, but check out Game 1. It's the same attack against another protoss player. It's really important to see someone do the build in multiple different circumstances, because I don't care if you memorize a build, it's not going to work in every single game. No, it will not. As you see, Deiidara makes a sprint up here. He goes down these adepts. He gets the Mama Core. This is, oh my god, he gets the Mama Core. And with that, the Oracle can clean this up. Thank god the Oracle came out in time. But it looks like the protoss player will hold his aggression.
If he had gotten that last adept, I would have considered that extremely effective.
Yeah, I mean, he's still effective. Mama Core has gone down. But, like, Vortex is making the same mistake he made in Game 1. Spoiler, but, like, if you just look at his minerals, he's exploding so much money. If you look at the Protoss money, he's spending his money. And I feel like that alone, spending your money alone will get you to go. Spending your money alone will get you to go.
I gotta say, I love the change on the pylon with the gateway. I think that being able to hide pylons in Heart of the Swarm was, I don't want to say too easy, but it was really hard to spot them. I will never say that it's overpowered, but I will say that it adds more depth, that if you want to warp in faster, you have to spend more money. And it has to be easier to spot. We have a drop though in the natural for the natural for the blue player here. God, that was all kinds of twisted.
Yeah, it's all good though, but Silver is correct. There's a drop going down. The archers, let's pick up these units with 2 leaning on the ground. It's going to get the Marines out. 5 Marines will leave with their lives if he decides so, which he does. Gets them over the rocks, so now they're protected. And he's setting up for what I like to call the 2-prong attack at the front or the natural base.
He does manage to pull the entire army back to the natural, scared of another drop. Workers killed is 10. 10 workers killed for Vortex, similar to Game 1. Guys, go watch Game 1. But slightly more stable here. He has a nice attack happening. The drop is pulled back, not over microwing, still producing back at home. Vortex 82 supply to 64. Deiidara is definitely on the defensive. He's always had that aggressive position across the map with the gateway. But Red, this is a pretty strong position here for Vortex.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot better than it was the previous game. He's dropping a few units, and we'd love to see him unload these units out of the medevac onto the ground. But he's going for a 3rd, which is amazing. That's awesome. Great, continue mining that money. His upgrades are sitting at 1-1 right now, which is awesome. And now his army just finished, so now he can pursue 2-2 upgrades. So this bio ball is looking pretty good for him. And the Protoss player, on the other hand, just has a few oracles, which can do great DPS.
Do you see what I see?
What's that?
Tempest.
The harass at the back?
I see Tempest.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite units ever.
I see Kamehamehas and Spirit Bombs.
Yeah, dude. They shoot, oh my god. I didn't know this. What, does he have? No, he doesn't. So a Tempest without the Marine having combat shields will a Tempest will one-shot a Marine.
Without combat shields.
Without combat shields, it will straight up one-shot Marine. The medevacs will go down here. Photon overcharge being activated on these pylons, and without, I feel like the Protoss player is just going to completely desolate this army. As you can see, there's nothing really to challenge the Tempest. They reign supreme above everything else in this battlefield. Medevacs will go down next, and with this, the Deiidara's trade, it's pretty well against Vortex's army, but Vortex still does have the supply lead.
Yeah, Vortex still with the supply lead. Let's see if that's in workers. Definitely. 47 workers, 47 SCVs, 31 probes on the map right now. 5 Stalkers, 4 Stalkers, 2 Tempests, 17 Marines though on the field. No medevacs. I still like Vortex's position. He's taking a 4th base. This many Marines could possibly hold the attack here from Deiidara. I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, there's a very interesting comp that Deidara's gone for, you know. I would love to see him power the Stargate. But he's going for a very interesting comp. Tempest, Robo, facility, Immortal. He's going Tempest Mortal with gateway units. I feel like this is very good versus his slow count. Oh, with this, he's going to lose a couple of units for free. Oh, because of that 1A micro. Just walks his units straight into this bio ball at the third of Vortex. Loses a lot of them. And with this, he has to retreat. He has to go home. Vortex busts the skin, sees the army fleeing. And with this, he'll be a little bit more confident in his position in the game.
So as a Protoss player, Red, what do you think that Deiidara could do here, or could have done here, to make the air a little more efficient, to make the army a little larger? When do you think the third could have been taken?
I think the third should have been taken immediately after he held that attack where Deiidara came, where Vortex came in his face, and the Tempests were there, and everything was just there, and he took a pretty great engagement right there. But that supply leak right then and there. You always could, if you're ever confused, this is like a great rule for a Zerg player. You're like, oh, I don't know when to drone, right? You're like, oh, I don't know when to drone. I mean, I know when to drone early game, but like when he gets ready to attack, when do I drone? Like Red, do I sneak a few drones out while making roaches or making my army? This is what you do. You crush the attack. You crush it. You make him go home. And the second he hits back, makes his units walk the other way, you make drones immediately. Like the second you, as soon as you hold an attack, next move is drones. Or as soon as you hold an attack, next move is expand. As soon as you hold an attack, your next move is invest your money.
In Scout, guys, this is usually to, like, people won't say this because it's kind of without needing to be said. You should also sacrifice an Overlord. Send a couple more Lings to make sure that he's not coming back for another counterattack. Drone, yes. But especially on ladder, do not gamble. Send a couple Lings to go see exactly where the army is. You want map control. Yeah, you definitely do. Map vision, map control. And as we talk about map control, we have Vortex dropping in the natural again, forcing the Protoss player to come back here, leaving his third unprotected. And with that, Vortex is going to go for like a two-prong attack. He's going to go down here, snipe this natural. There's nothing here to contest it. It will fall in time. And Vortex at the same time will hit the third base pretty hard. Oh my god, picks up, loses pretty much nothing, and with that, Dara's like, I'm done. I'm staying. Yeah, actually, if you look over at the third, it's because he's actually got that two-pronged attack going. A nice push and pull maneuver here for Vortex as he takes the rest of the bio ball and moves into the third base. Deiidara, not fortified down there, moved the entire army back to the natural. Yeah, and that was I'm showing that I'm glad to see him take this game. His control is a little bit above. Well, he's not really ranked, so we don't know what he is. His control is a little bit above what his macro is. Definitely say right now he's a micro-intensive strong player. Like he's good at micro. I love his micro. Great potential in that. The strategy is there. The actual strategy of the attack is definitely there. Dropping is there. Two-pronged attack is there. The upgrades were there. Yeah. Definitely he's gold potential. Absolutely. Yeah. Great maneuver. For the Protoss players who are watching this game and are going to be like, oh my god, Red, is there anything I can learn from this? Yeah, like we talked about earlier about getting your money, taking the third. If you would have had that third earlier, way earlier, it's like I said, when he held that attack. I don't know what he did after he held the attack. I have no idea what Deiidara did. But as soon as he held that attack, taking his expansion, the next thing is like, oh, Red, is my army sure enough to fight these Marines and Marauders? I don't really agree with the comp he chose. But that's just me, my personal agree. I always like go for Splash. I believe like Splash reigns supreme into StarCraft. Unless you can play two styles of StarCraft. You can play Siege Warfare, or you can play like Splash or high DPS Warfare. Protoss Terran just like is blessed with naturally having high DPS units with STEM. Like Marine Marauders, like very high DPS for just like normal ass units. Protoss isn't really that blessed because gateway units, they're just strong in high numbers. So I would say Deiidara choosing a splash unit, even high temp, disruptor, and just getting that on the battlefield would have totally changed the warfare, changed the way that Vortex would have had to play. But yeah, I think that was an overall, really interesting ideas from the Protoss player. Slightly different decisions might have led to a completely different outcome. Yeah. He needs to work on that drop D, that's for sure. Yeah, that drop D.
That's such a hard thing to defend.
It's really difficult. It's really, I think, this is just me, man, but isn't it? It's all about control groups.
Yeah, it took me literally. I didn't get good at defending drops or understand how to defend drops. It was something that infuriated me so much that it numbed me, or it infuriated me so much that it made me unable to fix the problem because I was so angry that I didn't care. I just didn't care about fixing the problem. I just was just angry. I was just like, I don't care if this should be fixed by itself. I should have to do anything. Then I had to calm down, and I spent an entire season back in Wings of Liberty just working on having my observers in great places and hot zones of where drops will be, having units where they need to be, knowing how many units will take down a medevac, like just knowing how to defend drops. And it's even harder now because medevac can boost. So if they want, they will get in your base. So I would definitely say that's something to invest in, just like practicing against it. Just like, hey, as your friend who's a Terran player, like, hey, can we play a few games and can you drop me as much as you can? And just like, don't like tell me where you're gonna drop. Just drop me, and I'm just gonna try to practice defending it. And the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. I would definitely say at the higher tier, it's like when you see it, you have to react. So that's the hardest thing to create. It's like when you play like Call of Duty. The best players of Call of Duty rarely ever watch their character move across the map. They're most watching the mini map and just looking at the mini map like, okay, where do you go? There, shoot him, boom, there, boom. Right, listen to it. It's like knowing what's going on around the battlefield. So yeah.
No, that's all. It's all map control, man. Just being like aware, self-aware of your base or the surroundings of it and where your army's moving. Being able to split it up and not bulk up too much in one area.
Right.
Totally. But yeah, that's the end of Vortex's games for today, man. Maybe we'll hear more from Vortex. I'd like to see where he gets placed, and I'd really like to see how his play evolves. So if I see any more replays from this guy, I will make sure to put them up. Actually, I want to follow a couple players. As long as they're progressing, as long as they're focusing and continue to play, I'd like to see some progression, like actually experience it on the channel would be cool. So if you guys have any replays, or if you'd like to, if you'd like me to keep up with you just to see if your plays are progressing, we can analyze games and see what's up. Let me know. Send your replays to iamsilvertone@gmail.com, or you can tweet them to me at iamsilvertone. I know Red does some coaching, possibly.
Yeah, I do coaching. Currently, I'm just building a coaching profile, so I would love to give like maybe 3 or 4 lessons for free, just to get like kind of my name out there as a coacher in this game. I feel like I'm pretty competent with every race. I feel like I'm better with protoss though, as I have achieved Masters League with protoss. But I would definitely say I play every race at least a platinum to diamond level. So if you're below platinum or diamond, you're like, hey, I need a coach. But I don't want it to be expensive. I'm looking for a couple of free lessons just to get better. I would love to coach you. You can find me at twitch.tv/MSULeakRed. There is a message option on Twitch, so you can message me through Twitch. I will get it, and I will respond.
That sounds great, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, let us know how we did. And yeah, keep it weird.
Take care, guys.